guys, welcome back to the OG podcast. You are here with KikitheOG and welcome to episode 6. A little commotion for episode 6, right? So today we're going to discuss the game. And, a lot of people hate to admit that, life is a game, relationships are a game, dating is a game. But at the end of the day, it's like, it is what it is. And so it's either you get with it or get lost. You're going to sink or you're going to float. You're going to complain or you're going to win. Winners win. So since a lot of my female counterparts are under the impression that there isn't a game or there shouldn't be a game, all of these different hot takes on the game itself, I feel like as the OG that I am, it's only right that I come and provide the game. They say the game is sold, not told, but the Bible says you're supposed to, share the wisdom, right? So that's why I'm here. So first, like, comment, subscribe. If you are new here, this is your first episode, then I'm excited for you because this is gonna be a good one. If you are one of my favorite people in the world, my subscribers who like and comment and share, I love y'all the most. Thank y'all for coming back again and again and again. So with that, let's hop right into it. The reality of the situation is you are in the game, whether you want to admit it or not, whether you want to play it or not. You're in the game. EA Sport, okay? It's in the game. You're in it. And so the question is, are you in it or are you in it to win it? Because it's either you play or get played. And I don't make the rules, but I will share the game. There are people who are playing the game and they're lapping you. And that's why you're not having as successful dating experiences. Because at the end of the day, that's all we like to talk about is dating. But when it comes to relationships, like, women, I guess, underestimate to what extent men are masters at the game. They have mastered their craft when it comes to just their whole approach to women. So I'm gonna break that down today. So when it comes to dating, a lot of women like to tell themselves that there shouldn't be a game. I shouldn't have to play games. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. It should just be easy. I should just be able to tell someone I love them and da 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 da. The reality that we all need to accept at the beginning is that you are in the game. Okay, you're in it. So it's the game of life. It's the game of relationships. You're alive. You're born into it. There's nothing you can do about it. So it's either play or be played. Sink or float. You decide. At least minimum. Ladies, we got to play better defense because the men are playing in our faces. They playing in y'all face because I can't relate no more. But anyway, so that's really the first thing I wanted just to start off with. Like, sometimes we can't accept knowledge because we're closed-minded to the fact that something is in our reality. So women, get out your heart and accept there's a game and I'm going to teach you how it's getting run on you. Ready, set, go. So first, on the bright side of everything, not only are women in the game, but you actually are the real MVP. Women create men, right? So we are already in a different bracket than men. They just happen to study the game more. So they're beating us right now, but innately, we created men. We cannot lose to something we created. Do you see where I'm getting at? Cool. So just think about that when you approach this, you were already born to win. How could you lose? Because when you think about it, Adam, he needed Eve, okay? God created Eve for Adam because he needed her. He needed a helpmate, right? So men need women. Don't forget that. And speaking on the whole Adam and Eve thing, I know Eve gets a bad rap for the fruit or whatever, but my hot take is that Adam was at fault because he failed to lead his woman. That's the thing about it. Men were created to lead. He was supposed to lead Eve spiritually, hey, this is not what God said do, so we're not going to do it. That's what women look to men for. The leadership, you have to lead me physically and also spiritually to make sure I'm doing what God said do. So to that end, I would place blame on Adam for failing to be the leader and instead listening to Eve. It's like, Adam, you've been here longer than her. How you letting her convince you of what to do? You're supposed to lead, And it's just so easy for men to be like, oh yeah, she was the one who tempted him. But the gag is he didn't have to succumb to the temptation. He's a leader. And so that brings me really to my next point. Like, the way men play the game is they want the titles with none of the work. They want the results with as little work as possible. And to the untrained eye, it might look like um, the stereotypes in the patriarchy or of the patriarchy that are woven into society are truths. All men cheat, or boys will be boys, or men mature slower than women. All of these stereotypes that benefit the men by allowing them to play dumb or lower the mark or just have a larger room for error. Would you believe me if I told you all those stereotypes and societal norms were strategically placed into, our brains so that men could continue to do the least to get the most? Because that's really what it was. Think about it. If a man tells you that all men cheat, and if all men start to tell women that all men cheat, then what's going to happen? Women are going to be like, okay, well, I might as well pick, not based off of loyalty, but based off of just, some other determining factor, and just accept the fact that men cheat. So then men are now allowed to cheat because they've told enough of us that cheating is a prerequisite to marriage. For better or for worse, includes cheating. Kids outside the marriage. They've conditioned you to believe that it's unrealistic to have regular standards. You know what I'm saying? Not only regular standards, but standards that are not in alignment with, God. Hello. Your man is supposed to love you like Jesus loved the church. So let that sink in. But yeah, they've told us certain things about the aspects of their character to the point where we have misperceived them. We have a fallacious interpretation of their characteristics, and they are utilizing our ignorance or the fact that we have been so, misled for centuries to their advantage. So that's just a layer of the game. You have to know your opponent in any game, right? In any game, you have to know your opponent. So men studied women. They know that we like, for example, words, romance. If you look into the history of romance was created for poor men who needed to have sex with women. So they would say sweet nothings to get into her ear and make her fall in love off of nothing. But to what end? He wanted sex. So men always have a means to an end. And I'm not saying necessarily that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just letting you know the game. Men do things that are in their best interest. Period. You want sex? You find out how you get it. Men are smart. I always say that on this podcast. Men are smart. They're strategic. They will study you to learn how to make you benefit them. They won't necessarily study you to learn what you like unless giving you what you like benefits them. You get where I'm going? Like, sometimes women say, oh, I just want a man to read my mind. And men are just like, no man's going to read your mind. Just tell me what you want. But until you've experienced a man who reads your mind, you'll never know it's a real thing. Like, there are men who not necessarily read your mind, but they read your face. They read your body language. They read what you don't say. They know you enough, actually know you enough to know what you would and wouldn't like, And that's what we mean by read our mind. Obviously, we don't want a mind reader. JK, we low-key probably do. But realistically, reading our mind just means know me. Do you know me? Do you know me enough to know what I want? My point, if he wanted to, he would. Men know. And they only give when they see an opportunity to receive on the back end. Honestly, it's like, to some extent, I don't blame them, because a part of human nature is like self-preservation, self-actualization, self. So to the extent that you are trying to maintain self, I understand it. I'm not gonna say I respect it, but I understand it. But where the line gets blurred is when it becomes manipulative, intentionally manipulative and malicious against women. So they tell you that they didn't know any better. You know, how many times have you been in a situation with a man who's done something obviously wrong and he's pretending like, oh babe, I didn't know that if I sent heart eyes to this girl at 2 o'clock in the morning, it was gonna make you mad. I didn't know that she was gonna start DMing me because I started liking all 17 of her pictures back to back to back. I didn't know she was gonna. They really pretend that they don't know, aka weaponized incompetence, which is a strategy and a tactic, you know? So it's like, it's actually smart to pretend to be dumb. Everything they do is on the offense, and we gotta be more cognizant of that. You know, when he liked all her pictures, when he sent heart eyes at 2 a.m., he's not slow. We like to act like men are so slow, you know, but they're not. They're leaders, right? They're leaders, right? Leaders of the free world, right? So we are no longer, I'm gonna just say, we are no longer accepting the idea of men being so weak and fragile and incompetent. Those are feminine traits. That's why we call y'all sassy, because you're acting like in your feminine. Do you know or do you not know? Are you a leader or are you passive and a follower, and all of your life decisions happen to you versus taking ownership of the choices and decisions that you make? The thing about it, and that's just another layer, but the thing about it, as women, we get so in love, and I've talked about love again. We get so in episode like 2 or 3, I don't know, but we get so in love to the point where you overlook things, you justify incorrect actions, you give more chances, you might even gaslight yourself and lie to yourself, right? Like, you allow him to play in your face. And so men know what that feels like. Men know what it feels like to give the bare minimum and receive more than what they were supposed to get on the back end. It's like, if I don't gamble, gambling is bad, but if you gamble and you put in a quarter and you get back $200, but you know you were not supposed to get that much, you feel the energy shift of, I received more than I was ever intending on getting and more than what I ever deserved. Men know that when they treat you subpar and you give them more in return, that is a physical energy dynamic. And what it does is it literally feeds and inflates their egos, and you are helping create a monster. Because you know what that ego is gonna do? It's gonna facilitate the creation of like grandiosity, you know? Y'all know how men are. So yeah, they use weaponized incompetence to feign ignorance, right? And just keep the bar low. Why? Because why would I do more when I don't have to? Exactly. Who would do more when they don't have to? Who would pay more when they don't have to? If I can get you believing that I'm just an idiot, that being an idiot doesn't hurt their ego. Being perceived as an idiot doesn't hurt their ego. It's just a role they have to play to get what they want. And that's kind of where it gets a little scary a little bit, you know? Men are like skillful enough to play a character and a role for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden switch up when their internal mission has been accomplished, whether that's having sex with you, whether that's getting you pregnant, or whether that's marrying you, and then they switch on you. They are skillful and tactical enough to play the role long enough to get what they want. It's literally like a mission. I really want to compare it to video games. You know how some men can play video games like all day, like, and never get tired, and they're just locked in, like, playing video games? Men love games. I should have led with that. Men love games. They love video games. They love relationship games. They love back and forth games. They love negotiating games when they go to the car dealership and they have to negotiate for a better rate. They love the back and forth of conquering something, of winning something, of achieving something. They love playing basketball and winning. They love playing football and winning. They love watching other people play games and win. You know, they love games. So you would be, again, green and ignorant to believe that they're not playing games with you. They like competition. They like conquering things. So for you to think that when it comes to you, he's gonna just stop wanting to win and conquer things, you would be remiss to believe that. Yeah. So let's see, how else can I explain it? It's like, ladies, if any of you all liked Pokemon, this is a Pokemon analogy. So I did like Pokemon. So you know how you got like, you like, I had Pokemon cards growing up, right? So you can have like the special cards, the holographic cards. You can look at the HP, the special attacks, like what type of sign they are. Men will study you like a Pokemon card. They will study your evolved form, okay? They know how much it would take to get you to your evolved form. Do you get what I'm saying? And then they will play the card. They will play the card. They will play you. They will do what it takes to get you to the evolved form, from girlfriend to wife, from situationship to, you know, side chick. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, they will play the card to get you where they want to get you. And they will play the other cards, meaning the other women, simultaneously, because they have a whole hand of cards that they're playing at the same time, because men love the multitasking aspect of playing games. They love it. They love it. Have you seen, like, on the other video games, men will play, like, you know, the specials, like, it's like when you push certain buttons in a specific order, and then you do like a bigger move, a bigger attack, you know, something specialized for that character. Men love that type of stuff. They just do. They just do. They love it. And they will push your buttons too, is what I'm saying. They will push the special buttons to make you react a certain way. And they know how you're going to react because they've studied your Pokemon card. They know your sign. They know, is she going to cry or is she going to try to fight me? Like, you know, some girls are a little handsy. They know what they know. They know. And they also know who not to play with, you know? I hope that some of you girls did play Pokemon cards, because, you know, the holographic ones, the special ones, if you got like a really cool card, it was holographic and it was special, and like people will put them in the binders and like make sure that no one touched them and keep them preserved because they had value. Men value what they want to value, and they play who they want to play. And they discard who they want to discard. So driving the point home that everything is intentional, men are strategic. You would be crazy to think that they're not playing you because you are inherently great or you are better than the next woman. That is also a game, a manipulative game to make women fight themselves. That's actually a narcissistic tactic called triangulation, where you pit two women against each other and let them fight for your attention. Imagine what that does to their ego, having two women fight over him. Imagine at another level, he don't want now one of y'all. You get what I'm saying? Like, men men be playing the game. They be doing it, and they do it. They do it. At this point, it really doesn't even matter why they do it. Just know that it's being done. And if you choose to ignore it after watching this, you can never say you never knew. And that's my purpose here. What I recently learned, though, is that men, I was under the impression that men would, for example, back to the all men cheat. I was like, studying why men as a collective would all come to that same conclusion. I'm like, is there something in the group chat where they all just decide that we're gonna all tell women that we all cheat so that we all can have the freedom to cheat? If so, that is such a different, unusual alliance to losers, okay, for them to all agree to be subpar humans for the benefit of other men. And that's another reason why we would call them sassy, because it's like, bro, who do you care about, women or men? Clearly men. You are lying to women for the benefit of men. You must love men. You would literally, you know what I'm saying? What I recently discovered, though, is that it's not necessarily for the brotherhood. It's for self. Men do everything for self. And women need to really take a note on that and add that to our repertoire because they're beating us at the self-love game. You know, men will get cheated on once and then never get cheated on again because they are now playing offense to protect themselves because they care about themselves. Versus women, how many times you got done wrong as a woman because you kept giving the benefit of the doubt? Or how many times did you take that man back as a woman because of whatever reason you chose to? Women will be more likely to take a man back than a man would. You cheat on a man, he done with you. He's looking at you like trash. You are discarded. He's throwing you out of the hand like he's done. But women are not done because women don't love themselves as much as they need to. Women prioritize men more than they prioritize themselves. You would not catch a man doing that. Not for real. Not a man, maybe a male. So what men do is they try to talk another man out of his position. And that's how I knew that the brotherhood was like a fallacy to an extent, right? So Drake said men talk more than women these days, right? It's because like if a man can talk another man out of his position, if a man can gas you up to crash out, if a man can, you know, egg you on to cheat on your woman, it will make it easy for him to come in and scoop your woman on the back end. It's another way for him to lower the barrier to entry for the woman that he wants. So it's not necessarily a brotherhood. It is a self game. So men play, again, multiple games at a time. He's going to play a game with the woman and with his brother, right? Yeah, bro, F her. Like, this don't matter, that don't matter, cheat on her, da-da-da-da. He'll cheat, he'll help him cheat, he'll lie for him when he's cheating or whatever. And then go tell the woman that he's cheating because he wants the woman. He might just want the woman because he wants her. He might just want the woman for his own ego to take somebody else's woman. It doesn't matter why they're doing it. You just got to know that they're doing it because the why, I feel like women get stuck in the why. You got to worry about the game first. And then we can worry about why they made the rules to the game like that. If you playing Uno, just learn the game for the household that you're in. Because, you know, everybody play Uno different. Learn the rules for the game in the household that you are in. Decide if you want to play. If you don't, head out. But stop trying to figure out why. Y'all gonna put yourself in some precarious situations trying to understand and rationalize why someone does something. It doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that they did it. So, and I'm talking to y'all like that because I've done it. Obviously, I've like really tried to psychoanalyze somebody and I was correct on all my assertions, but it still didn't matter. It didn't change anything. So don't get stuck on that. Like, it doesn't matter. Take what they're doing. That's the card they play. What card is that? Read the card. Play your card. Keep pushing. A side note to the protect and provide comment. I just want to say that I even think that's a little bit fallacious, meaning men have to provide. But the protection aspect, when you think about it, what are they protecting us from? A robbery? That's most likely going to be a man. Somebody snatching you up or something? That's going to be a man. They're really just protecting us from other men who are moving for self, when you think about it for real. They're protecting us from other men because they know that men are irrational when it comes to certain things. They know that men are just moving for themselves. I don't even know if that's irrational, but that's the logic to it. They're protecting us from men. They're not necessarily protecting us from a woman, like breaking into our house at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, they have to protect us emotionally and stuff like that as well. But the primary protect and provide, when we think about it, we think about protecting us physically. And men even created a way to get gratification for doing something that is a byproduct of the fact that men act a certain way and don't want to change it. Did you follow? I hope y'all did. Men are getting credit for being protectors when the only reason why you gotta protect us is because men as a whole refuse to stop being the type of people who need to be protected from. It's like they create the problem and they create the solution and then they get the praise. That's the that's the game. I hope y'all caught that. I hope you caught it. That's the game. Men are skillful. They're skillful. Credit where credit is due. It's like, I one thing about it, I'm a student of the game. So If it makes sense, I'm gonna study it. And it's like, okay, I see how y'all did it. Create the problem and create the solution. People do that in business, you know? Apple does that all the time. Like, they create a new phone with a problem, and then, oh, we gotta get a new charger. We gotta get a new this. We gotta get a new, like, it's game. The game is run in every facet in life. So act like you don't see it if you want to. And also on the leadership aspect, like, again, just to beat that in, like, men want to be leaders, but how you gonna lead when you're acting incompetent? How you gonna lead when you don't have emotional intelligence? As women, our card to play to that is to disengage, right? Stop letting them lead, or call them on that, or stop pretending like whatever they tell you is a fact. Like, you know, either hold their feet to the fire or move around. But you cannot continue to be led by somebody who today wants to be the leader to receive the respect. Tomorrow is acting like he had no idea that he was supposed to call you at 5 a.m. because he didn't come home. He had no idea that he was supposed to check in with you. You cannot continue to be led by someone who's playing in your face. He's playing in your face. And the thing about it too is, like, as women, you could think of somebody right now who likes you more than you like him, and who does more for you than you ever asked him to, and you know you're not actually going to give him a real shot. You have several of those type of people in your phone, in your DMs, in your requests right now. But you know how that feels. It's like, oh, he hit me up again. Oh, he heard my story again. Oh, he doing this again. Like, it's an energy. Also, if you respond and you give him a dry answer, it's like, you know that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, they're still gonna heart every story. They're gonna take whatever you say and they're gonna just eat it up. They are happy with being breadcrumbed by you, long story short. And men feel the same way when it's you. Like, he knows that if he goes out and he stays out till 5 o'clock and he comes back in, you're not gonna leave him. So he played the card knowing on the back end what the consequences were not gonna be. What's the consequence? Oh, you're gonna be sad. He don't care. You're probably gonna argue a little bit. He don't care for real. You know, you might cry. He don't care. You know, and then you're not gonna leave. You're gonna have a little fit. He gonna deal with that. He gonna ignore you. He gonna tune you out. Even if he's engaged in a conversation, he's not there. He's tuning you out, trying to wait like until you're done, and then ask you what's for dinner. Because he don't care. He's going to engage in the conversation with you so that you can get it out, so that you can have some energy to make dinner. He's already steps ahead of you. Like, all he wants is the next thing. He wants dinner and he wants some sex at the next appointed time. So he's like, hey, if she get mad, I might have makeup sex. They're playing with you and you're letting them. I just hate to see my women go out sad. Like, I hate to see it. And that's why we're here. So let's keep going. So what have we learned? Everything men do is a means to an end. What does he want? Does he want a wife? Does he want a side chick? Does he want a sneaky link? Does he want a babysitter? Does he want consistent sex? Does he want someone to boost his ego? Does he want, you know what I'm saying? Does he want a beard? Okay. Child, do they want a mom? Because that's really what they be wanting. Somebody to cook and clean and baby them and spoon feed them food. They really want a mom for real. Okay. That's a whole different story. They do something for a reason every time. It's very transactional. As much as men try to act like transactional because they don't like to pay, everything in life, bro, is transactional. You plant a seed in the ground and the transaction is you get a tree, you get a flower, you get a plant, you get some fruit. Everything is transactional. Okay. But anyway, know that, sit with that, internalize that. If you notice, like, men will stumble upon love. They never really go looking for it, even though they're supposed to be the ones seeking the women, but they will mess around and fall in love because they do a great job at guarding their heart. The Bible talks about that in Proverbs. Guard your heart, from out of it spring the issues of life. And that's why I love the Bible, because God be doing his big one every time. Guard your heart. Keep your heart, 3 stacks. I talked about that in a different episode too. Like, keep your heart, because out of it spring the issues of life. Your issues in life are because you have not protected your heart. I feel like people underestimate the fragility of the heart. Also, not only do they guard their heart, but at the same time, right, they are dealing with people who they don't like for real. So it's easy because their heart is not in it. And why are they dealing with people who they don't like? Because they want something. So that transactional nature again, it's easy to fall in love when at the core, she's not cute, she just cooks well, and she offers me food every day. I'm gonna take it for as long as I can take it. Women, if you got a man sending you money every day for lunch, you're gonna take it for as long as you can take it. So no game. By contrast, women will not guard their heart. Women love love. Women want to love. And we are nurturers, and that's innate in us. And there's nothing wrong with that in theory. But life is not theory. Life is reality. So in reality, you have to be strategic, like I said, with who you love. I could fall in love with a rock. Do you hear me? I used to, at this point, I just love everybody. I am love. All I have to give is love. And that's something that I realized about myself. Like, I've loved broke men. I've loved ugly men. I've loved a whole spectrum of people, you know, like, because if there's a quality about you that I like, then I'm like, okay, well, I just, you know, I find the best in people. And women, that's what we do. We find the best in men, and then we love them for the good that they are. And then we try to nurture them and cultivate them to become better than who they ever thought they could be. And that's where we mess up. You cannot love somebody into being more than they ever conceptualized for themselves. You cannot love somebody past their own limiting beliefs. Okay. So what did I do? Game. I had to do the work on self. I had to get in the field. I had to go to practice. I had to put in overtime for myself to become a better player. How you become a better player? You have to know your instrument, okay? Because you can play instrument too. You got to know your instrument. My instrument is my heart, and I'm like, let me not play myself. If I know that I can fall in love with anybody for any reason because I just find the things about people and I then I had to guard my heart. I had to practice what that feels like, to reel that in, to reclaim my time, to, you know, draw my energy back to me. I had to not only feel what that felt like to change my habit and to start bringing my energy in, but then I had to perfect it. I had to master it, and then I had to become it. And now I am that. And now it's like, not like I'm gatekeeping my love, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm on 100% no matter what. And if somebody gets access to me, it is, you know, in a way that also benefits me. There's nothing wrong with, you know, not engaging with something that's not benefiting you, because that's what men do. And that's when you know you're catching up to the game. A man is not going out of his way to do anything for nothing. Some do, of course, but that's why we're not talking about some. We're talking about the game. So yeah, make sure that all of the situations that you are dealing with in life benefit you. I don't care if it's work, friendship, job. You shouldn't be in situations that don't benefit you. Even in a small way, like giving to the homeless doesn't necessarily benefit you, but it makes you feel good. That's a benefit. So I'm not saying super monetarily transactional, but you should not be pouring for an empty cup is what I'm saying. Not only because it's not good for you, but because men don't do that either. And that I'm trying to level the playing field here. So realistically, what does that look like? Aside from guarding my heart, I'm playing defense. So example, I was leaving maybe like 2 weeks ago. I was leaving to go to the gym, and I saw this guy in my like in my complex or whatever, and he was handsome. And I was like, so he was walking past me. I said good morning. He said good morning, and started talking about he wanted to go to the gym with me. And I was like, it looked like you don't work out as is, like, because one thing about it, I'm gonna talk mess every time, right? So he was like, oh no, I do work out, whatever. But I kept going to my car. He followed me to my car and asked me, what gym do I work out at? I hate that question. I said, it don't matter. How old are you? Boom, get into it. And he said 30 something. I was like, okay, cool. And so I said, do you have kids? He said, yes. I said, oh, I don't date men with kids. My toxic trait is I'm gonna ask the disqualifying questions from jump as soon as I meet you to disqualify you so that I do not fall in love. Do you get what I'm saying? Ladies, that's how you play defense. He was trying to come into my life for whatever reason, and I played defense and I killed it for myself because I saw that he was handsome. I saw that it could have been something. He was in the correct age range. Like he had pretty teeth or whatever. Like it was starting to look like it could have been something. So I killed it. Okay, so he's like, he got kids. I'm like, oh, I don't date men with kids. I said, how old is your kid? He said 8 months. So do you see why I killed it? Because men gonna play. Why would you be in my face when you have an 8-month-old in this apartment complex? Sir, you live with your baby mama. Sir, you are going upstairs right now to go and chill with your baby mama and your kid. Chill with, okay? You are going home to your family. Why are you in my face? Because he wanted something. Don't know what he wanted, won't ever find out, but he wanted something. His real life didn't matter, and how it affected me didn't matter. He didn't care how I would feel about him having an 8-month-old. He never planned to disclose that so soon. He wanted to get what he could get out of me as quick as possible before I found that out. That's the game in action. Get what I can get, as much as I can get, as fast as I can get it before I'm out. It's like baseball. You hit the ball and you try to run and hit as many bases as you can before you're out. That's the game. So what do? I'm playing defense. I end it. I did it. I ruined it for myself. I self-sabotage. But honestly, I love myself for it because I'm disallowing mediocre remedial situations. 8 months is crazy. 8 months is crazy. 8 months is crazy. So I was like, yeah, no, I definitely, I said I'm not the right one. I'm like, if it wasn't for the kids, then you would have won. But like, I don't, I said I'm not the one. What does he do? He's still playing. Because men like the challenge. They like the idea of winning you over. They like the idea of being the exception to the rule. They like the idea of you breaking your rule for them. They like the idea of changing your mind. They like the idea of conquering a task. They like the idea of shooting the buzzer beater. You know what I'm saying? Half court. Like, they like that feeling. We're going to talk about that again later. But yeah, he was like, oh, well, at least I told the truth. Most men wouldn't even tell the truth. Not you trying to downplay other men. There is no brotherhood. Downplay other men so that you can look like you're a superhero when in fact you are approaching me with an 8-month-old and a baby mama in the same complex as me. Do you see how the game did y'all follow that? That was a lot at once. And I'm just looking at him in his face like, you must think I'm slow. Either you think I'm slow or you really think you that guy for real. And I guarantee you, if he thinks he's that guy, it's because what he has said worked. So if it worked, I still blame women at the end of the day. And so I was like, I appreciate the honesty, but no, final answer, lock it in. He was like, can I get your Instagram or whatever? I gave him my Instagram. Why? Because you can't tell me no, not for real. You know what I'm saying? And we live in the same complex. I don't want an enemy. Gave him my Instagram. Y'all, all he does is post his baby mama and his baby. I had to unfollow. Like, sir, why would you ever think? Anyway, my point to the story is, y'all see how men act? They don't care about you for real. So that's how I play defense. That's how I guard my heart, because textbook, he was my type. He was my type. Physically only my type. Very nice teeth, Anyway, that's just an example as a woman of how you can play defense in order not to get played if you're taking the stance of you don't want to play the game. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching. The takeaways that we have at this point are know that you're in the game, okay? Make informed decisions, all right? And at the very least, play defense. If you have any questions, comments, criticisms, remarks, concerns, please leave them in the comments below. Again, as always, thank you to everyone who subscribes and comments. I love y'all the most. And yeah, That's it for episode 6. Giving y'all the game on men. Make sure you're not out here in these streets going out sad, just green. Because another thing, last thing, and I'm gonna let y'all go. Men, they like, it's like when you're green, you literally look like an eyesore. Like, you look like an easy target. You look like a deer that broke his leg limping through the Sahara without adequate trees to hide, and like he's a lion and he's gonna attack you because you are weak. That's how you look when you out here in these streets trying to pretend like love is enough and that you don't have to play games and somebody gonna love you for you. Okay. That's all. I'm gonna leave y'all on that one. Don't be out here looking like a limping deer, okay, thinking that the lion gonna walk up to you and lick your wounds. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna leave y'all on that one. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 6. Stay tuned for episode 7, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Bye.